Hey, morning, Carol.
Hey, um, I was just asking, are you gonna do the demo or
I can do the demo. That's fine. Yeah, we can
okay.
do
I
presentation.
wasn't sure, what kind of things you want to demo. Maybe you have it already.
Yeah, I can do the demo. That's fine. I think we can just cross talk and do things
Okay,
together.
sure. And you can run the slides then. Right.
Do you have the
Or
updated
I
one?
can I can run the slides.
Yeah, you can run the slides. I think that will
Okay.
hopefully be
Just
good.
from the Google Doc, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah.
You have some
I have that. So I'm gonna
people
try.
for today. Let's see.
Yeah, let me see. So I have to share first. Okay, sharing. Where's sharing now? Um, oh, just share. Okay. Share.
Yeah.
You see it, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, I can have the participants on the side. So are you guys gonna close the office next week?
Yeah. Next week we're done.
Yeah, we're trying to squeeze everything into this week.
Yeah. Everyone.
People already are taking time off now. This week start dispersing.
Yeah. No, a few it is.
Yep.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. We're just waiting for people to join, so we'll wait for a few minutes. Check my battery. Oops. How do I do this? Okay.
Okay, maybe we can get started. I guess we are maybe a couple minutes past the hour. We'll have people join in between. Um, so good morning, everyone. And for those on the East Coast, good afternoon. Um, we'll be doing the VCO session today. VCO stands for the Virtual Consulting Office. And this is run by iGuide, which is the Institute for Geospatial Understanding through an Integrative Discovery Environment. And the topic for today is the iGuide platform, which is essentially the integrative discovery environment which iGuide promises and is delivering. So Carol and myself will be leading this VCO. We both lead the CI team for iGuide, and the idea for this is essentially to be like kind of an informal kind. This is not a formal presentation. This is kind of an informal chat, I would say. We have like slide decks just to answer questions, but feel free to interrupt at any time, and then we can do a demo. We can talk about it. We can work one-on-one on certain problems. So that's kind of the how we have set the VCOs up. So this would be just like helping you get started on the iGuide platform, learning what you could do with the iGuide platform, and maybe there are things that you want to do and which the platform doesn't do right now. If there are certain requirements that we can gain from the platform, so there are this kind of VCO serves those kinds of purposes. So feel free. Usually we have a small audience here to just have like this informal chat with kind of the experts here. So that's the VCO for today. Carol is the co-lead with me for the CI team, and she'll be leading us off with a couple of slide decks. But Carol, feel free to skip, and we can make this more of an informal chat as well.
Right. Thank you, Anand, for getting us started. So as Anand said, we meant this to be very informal. So I'll try to run through several slides just to set the context, and so to give people some ideas where we come from, what the ideas were for this platform, and then we can go into demos and answering questions. So with that, let me get this just started. So today we're really just want to cover the basics of the iGuide platform. So Anna mentioned that we have a CI team. CI stands for Cyber Infrastructure. So we have so under the iGuide Institute, we have several teams, and it's really built for convergent science. So our CI team works very closely with our science team to develop things that are actually useful. And the platform, the CI team developed the platform for the broader community. But first and foremost, the pilot efforts from the iGuide team, we're supporting those. And in order to discover issues and make the platform more usable by the broader audience. Just to kind of show this collaboration is very diverse from multiple universities and organizations like OGC and across the nation. And so the idea of the iGuide Institute is really to bring diverse disciplines together. And all these disciplines listed here, including science, even computer science, and all the way through social science fields. The idea is to for the Institute, both from an organizational standpoint and from a cyber infrastructure standpoint, to bridge the divide between different disciplines. And so the vision is to eventually to enable digital discovery and innovation through harnessing the geospatial data revolution. So all these disciplines that we represent have a common need for geospatial data. And for most of us, we know it's quite complex to use the data in the geospatial domain. And so that's where the cyber infrastructure really comes into help. And so iGuide is organized with this concept of map, connect, discover. So three kind of pillars of the Institute. So all of them actually sort of play a role in connecting things, connecting people. So connecting data sets to the computational code, computational workflows, and connecting different communities representing various science domains. And also, as we all know, the domain knowledge across different fields are quite different. And so people in one field may not know things, even some basic things in a different field. So this would serve as a place and a platform to bring these together. And of course, education is always an integral part of this endeavor. And we strive to connect different partners from industry, from academic, and other groups working on sustainability issues. Excuse me. So that's where the iGuide platform plays a central role to connect, right? So we have this. So this is a illustration of what we mean by connect. Connect has multiple dimensions. So essentially, the we know there are a lot of distributed data assets. A lot of them are geospatial oriented, temporal spatial data. And then on the other side, to study sustainability, resilience challenges, the convergence paradigm seem to be the way to go to bring people from different disciplines to work together. However, we all know that there are a lot of challenges when people from different disciplines to work together. So we see this huge gap between where the data sets are and how people can use them. So the iGuide platform is really an effort to bridge the gap in there. So in the brown area, you can see the areas that we identify to how we can use the platform to bridge, including geospatial data on demand and providing support for education
Carol,
for
Carol, I
trade.
guess the slide is not moving. Just
Oh,
yeah. So yeah.
it's
So
not moving.
yeah. So it's stuck in the first slide. Like
Oh, really?
yeah.
Uh, so how do I,
I
is
think we,
there,
yeah. Okay. Now I think it moved. So it's not in the slideshow mode.
okay. Hmm. So I don't quite know how to solve that.
Yeah. Just I think if you
I'll
just
just
move.
go through here
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think this is.
Sorry about that. I couldn't see anything. I'm only on one computer. I don't know. Okay. So I guess I was just chatting about these things and so let's just see. Um, yeah, so there are some pictures and the main idea is the platform will help connect fields of studies, people, and data sets. And here's our concept of the original idea of the platform to bridge distributed data sets with the convergence research. And so the platform really is a convergence of different technologies that we worked over the years and from supported by multiple organizations. So we can get into that a little bit later. So where's the platform? So if you go to platform.iguide, i-guide.io, so that's where you land on this platform. So I think here it kind of shows you what you can do once you get there. So this is designed for researchers from diverse disciplines. So you don't have to be a computer scientist or even somebody very savvy with coding to start using it. So there are multiple ways to get in. So first of all, of course, you can join as a member. So you log in and then you can find things. So there are a lot of material on the site. And then there are ways for you to contribute, to share things, various things. We'll talk about how to do that later. Let's see. So the principles we go by in designing a platform is really the to support the kind of audience we intend to. So considering, the audience is from multiple disciplines, may their expertise levels in terms of using cyber tools and platforms and workflows vary a lot. So we really aim for designing this to be simple, to be seamless, but yet also to be scalable. So a lot of people can use at the same time. And of course, with the latest development in machine learning and all the new computing paradigms, we're going to make the search much more useful to find the connections between different things. So some of the key concepts we have here, sort of represented by the graph, it shows how the system organize what we call knowledge elements. So these are individual units that could be a data set, could be an article, could be a teaching module, all those things that are connected through various ways. So this would enable synthesis through geospatial connections between these knowledge elements. And we're also working on intelligent search and eventually come up with some sort of recommendation system that would help people to discover things, to find things that they may not know exist. So that's our ultimate goal for these. So this sort of repeats what we talked about earlier, the concepts. So one thing I want to highlight is really, so that's kind of goes along with this particular VCO. What we want to talk about is really user-centric capability. So you come into the platform, it's a web interface, and there are ways you can manage things that you upload or you find, and then how to go through that process in terms of contribution. And there are also what is it? Okay. Yeah, so these are the things that I thought we'll cover in this VCO. And there are also slightly more advanced topics that I think we're going to cover in future sessions, such as how do you go from the platform to a Jupyter notebook environment so you can run things. So Jupyter notebooks are also knowledge elements on this website. So if you find one, you can run them. And I think we can demo that as well. And so for some of the problems, the computation needs is actually much greater than what the Jupyter environment can provide. So the platform is connected to access high performance computing systems in the back end. So we can get into a little more details on those things as well. Okay, so knowledge sharing and discovery. So that's a key functionality of the platform right now. So it allows you to search and discover across the entire site and through connections and also when you contribute, you can make connections about the things that have common themes or data sets can be connected to particular set of tools or notebooks. So the other main feature we have found to be very useful is whenever people share something, the next natural question is how can other people run it? So I think a lot of researchers really struggle with that. They can run things by themselves or within a small group, but when other people outside their institution ask to use their, let's say, notebooks, then it becomes more complicated. And so this iGuide platform makes that all easy for people to share these notebooks, and they're actionable. When you find a notebook, you can launch them right away. And so one very important area that we work on is to provide and link educational materials with existing knowledge websites, such as the UCGIS body of knowledge, where there are a lot of teaching materials that people can leverage. So I don't know if we need to go into this detail, but we have this here for the environment, user environment. This is the framework, how we designed it, and we can, for now, just say, there is the front end, there are these forms user can fill up when they contribute things, and there are things they can browse and manage their own profile. On the back end, there's a whole database implementation that maintain the knowledge graph of different elements. And one thing that we can do in the demo is that, so to log into the system, you do not need to create a new account. You can just use your institutional credentials to log in. And the other thing we can demo is, so we're really focusing on data on demand. By that, we mean that when you find data sets, it should be easy for you to actually make use of that data set. So some of the things we have on the website is that when you find data sets, you can get actually the code snippet. Like in this case, it's a Python code, how you can reference that data and how to use it in your code. So, and then for some more involved workflows, you can see that you could start from a Jupyter Notebook, but then to get to the HPC resources and different types of storage systems, we're really making an effort to hide all of that from the end user. So the researchers, they can focus on, working out their workflows in the Jupyter Notebook. And there are calls in the notebook that you can make to actually get to these large scale resources. We can do a demonstration on that as well. So with that, it's sort of a list of things that can be useful right away to people. And we can maybe, if there are questions, we'll be happy to answer right now. And we can also start with some demonstration of how to actually use it. And I think the idea is that you can also do that along the way, try to log in and things like that. Is that right, Anand?
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. We could do a quick demo of things, but we could always have you. I think, as I said in the beginning, we would like to make this more conversational and have like people um, participate and walk through things. If you have at any point you have trouble, you have problems, stop, ask questions. This is kind of meant to be an informal session. So yeah, we can do that.
Hi, Anand and Carol, if I could ask a question.
Sure.
Please do.
Great. Thank you guys for this. This is really interesting. I've been aware of iGuide tangentially for a while, and collaborate with Xiaowin and his lab sometimes. But the resources seem way more sophisticated and mature than what I realized. This is very, very cool. So there's data access, processing capabilities, and storage all built in. And that's available to anybody who can log in. That's what you're saying?
Correct.
Well, that's impressive because yeah, I just logged in using my org ID. So it
Okay.
looks USGS doesn't have an institutional affiliation in there right now. But that might be beneficial. Although most researchers at USGS will have an org ID as well. So is there links to like national data sets like ours, like, the NHD or the LIDAR data sets from 3D elevation program, elevation data?
There are some of those data set. I don't know in particular that data set, the 3D elevation. We have I don't know if that's working with the platform, but we do have like the national hydrography kind of data sets, which we were working with our hydrologists
Right.
to do some processing. So those are available. So again, this is the platform. You can register any of the data sets. So for example, you could go ahead and register one of the USGS data sets along with the links, and then it would be available and made accessible to people. Now we are also working on ways to automatically or to provide APIs or functionalities for you to download that data within the Jupyter environment and within kind of the HPC or the Access environment, which Carol talked about, and you could do the computing there. So that's being developed for some of them. We already have them for not, but for others we might not have all the pieces put together. But the structure is in place so that you could register your data set. You could maybe you have a notebook which does a demonstration of the data set. You could do
Right.
that. You could link those two together, and you could link the papers associated with it. And so it's kind of like a knowledge environment together that you could find all these pieces.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So registration would look like what? Would I basically be building a new, like an iGuide API to speak to our API, or what would
No,
that
no, no,
look
no. This
like?
is fairly
Just,
straightforward. Yeah.
yeah, so
Let's
Anand,
do
I
a
just stopped sharing so you can
Yeah, I
maybe
could do that. Give
share
me a
yours. Yeah, so that's basically a sort of a form. So it should be pretty straightforward to add those things.
Let's
No
see if
coding.
no coding. Yes.
But
So
I
yes.
do have a question for our, I see people on here. So for example, if somebody like, Ethan to register a data set, and then if we want to provide code snippets for other people to kind of get at a subset of the data, do we create that, or we work with Ethan to create that? I'm
Yeah.
not sure who does that.
Yeah, I'll try to address that, Carol, as well. So, and then maybe we can have others on the call chime in as well if they have better information. So here's Ethan to answer your question. So, for example,
Hmm.
so when you log in, you see your
Right.
profile, and then you see kind of the contribution. When you log in, you will see like data set, notebook, and publication. So if you don't see map and educational resources, those are a little bit higher level privileges.
I
Uh,
don't see any of that when I hover over my login. It just says
let me
my profile, update profile, log out.
I see. So you used I believe you used the Orchid, right? So
Right.
that's the reason we could so by default we don't want to give just like so we give access to people who have university credentials. Um,
Right. Okay.
and so Google, Orchid, and like those public kind of OAuth places like OpenID OAuth places where you don't need to provide your valid information in order to get an
Right.
account. We just
Sure.
allow you to log in and search. Now, like once you have logged in, we know you can send us an email, say, hey, like this is my ID and this is what I'm doing. We can enable your account to have access to a couple other resources. So, and I think Rajesh put in the chat also that that's also a restriction on how
Right.
to do Jupyter environment as well.
I've logged in to run Jupyter Notebooks
With
through Xiaowin's website. I'm thinking I
right.
probably have an account already, but I
Right.
don't know.
That was on the CyberJS X account. So you might already
Yes, that's
have
it.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this might be so this is the environment you can say. So if we give you a permission, and for most people
Mm,
with the university credentials, you should see like data set, notebook, and publication. So if you say new data set, it will ask you whether you want it to be a public or a private data set. So private means only you can see, public means anyone can see it. You give it a title, you give some author names, you give like whatever tag and about and a thumbnail, and you give a link to the data set. And once you give the link to the data set, and if there is a direct download link, you can provide that. And once you do that, you can save it. And you can also select, like, say, other related elements. Say you have a publication which you already entered about that data set. So you select publication and you make that connection to that publication. So you could do that. So let me go to a data set which has already been entered. So here's one which Alex Michaels has entered here. So he has this data set about aerial approach to spatial accessibility analysis, and then he has a short abstract about it, and he has tags. Um, and then there is a source of where the data is, and there is a direct download link. So here's the source. In this case, the data is on Figshare. So he has the associated data set, the figures, and all these things associated with his publication, maybe. And then there is a download link as well. Now, what Carol was saying is, can we provide a code snippet? And we do in this case, like say, for example, you have a Python code, you could do this, and this function is currently being built. So you could like give it a URL, and then it will download it within the iGuide platform Jupyter environment. So that kind of the code gets automatically generated for people. The other thing with this data set, for example, Alex has associated it with with a publication and with a notebook. So you could say, oh, okay, I need to see what Alex has done with his publication. So you go there and you will see this. And this was the the Jupyter environment we were talking about. So you can say run this notebook, and when you click on it, it will launch and it will ask you to log in with CI logon, the same kind of credentials. So that's once it does that, what it's doing in the backend is it's fetching that particular notebook. The particular notebook Alex has is in the GitHub environment. It's getting it downloaded along with any data set which he has identified to be used in this. And then let's see, once it loads. Okay. So this is his notebook. So you can see it like it downloaded all those related notebooks and things like that. And you can, at this point, you can run this entire notebook here and reproduce the work which Alex has done. So that's kind of the approach we are taking. So you could have like, say, your notebooks, your data set, and then you can go to and read you wanted to read the publication which was associated with it. You can go there, and then you have the DOI link to the publication as well as um, to downloading it. So, and then it says from the publication, you can see other connected publications which might be similar, which Alex thought were related publications, and connecting those. So it's kind of creating this, like, say, knowledge network. If I go here, um, let me refresh this. I think I just scrolled out of it. Yeah, so this is kind of the knowledge element. This is connected to others, which is that data set, which that notebook that we came from this data set. We saw this notebook, the publications, and this publication also has other elements which are associated with it, and another publication which is associated with. So you could essentially explore kind of the field of the things that is happening, and you have some direct links. You can share them. You can get the URL for this, and you can save this. So you, like, say, I liked Alex publication and I want to come back to it. I can save it. I can bookmark it in my user profile, and I just go to the user profile, um, and I see the application, the elements I have contributed, some elements which I might have kept private, and the bookmarks which I made. I just made a bookmark, and so it's there. So it's kind of like providing you that environment for doing that exploration for you, and then also allowing you to share kind of your knowledge to the broader community. Um, so I'll stop there. So there is this data set contributions, this publication. For publication contribution, it's very simple actually. If you have a DOI, you just put the DOI in and then fetch it, and then it will fetch all the related information for that DOI. So that's what we have. So maybe I'll stop sharing and see if there are questions. Oh, so Bailey, you had a question there. Is the goal to adapt let me see. Yeah, so So Rajesh has answered your questions there. So maybe Bailey, do you have other questions? I know you are working on the platform and you were trying to explore this. Um, are there things that you would, are there questions you have, things you want to learn? Like we can have a focused discussion there.
Not specifically. I'm still trying to work out how I can best use the platform. And so I just kind of have some background questions, but Rajesh, that answer does help kind of answer my question. So not right now, but I'm sure I'll have more questions as I kind of explore things more.
Yeah. And feel free to reach out to us. Like say, I think you might already have some notebooks and things like that that you are working on. If you have problems, reach out to us. So you're within iGuide. So in a sense. Um, so yeah, so you could definitely reach out and get help from us.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm not sure everybody is aware, so the CI team builds things, but we're also supporting people. So to help, debug issues if you have trouble putting stuff on there.
Well,
Yeah.
that's really awesome to know. Thank you.
Okay. So any other questions we have, Bailey, I guess from you?
I think I'm okay for now. So
Okay. Yeah, maybe we could wrap this up. The rest of the people are from the CI team, so uh we can wrap this up, and then maybe next time we'll also have another in a month or so. We'll do this again. We'll do this multiple times, and maybe Billy, at that point, if you have things that you want to add, and you have, I know Michael is also working with you, with Courtney, and you. So if you guys are having any issues, or we can use this kind of section to help you guys walk through and address certain problems, and that's what the VCO is for, actually.
yeah,
Nope.
that would be fantastic.
Oh, we have someone joining. Hello, I guess we had someone join in. Oh, it's just from a phone number, so not sure who that is.
Hi, sorry, this is Ethan. I got
Oh, yeah.
government internet issues. So sorry.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So yeah, we were wrapping up those kinds of. So I guess, Ethan, did you have a chance to look through it? So you might be just dialing in, so you might not have the screen in front of you. So like, we are happy to answer questions that you might have, or maybe what are the next steps for going forward from your side?
Yeah, no, I can't. I don't have visual for the meeting right now, but this is all really interesting. I have a ton of questions. I don't want to monopolize the meeting. I thought,
No, Ethan, I think this is
okay.
perfect. We have a bunch of people from the CI team here, as well as a couple people.
Okay.
So I think it's this is how the session is supposed to work. So you have questions, you can monopolize.
Great. Okay. Is there a policy or opinion about government employees making use of the platform?
It's open to the public, so it's perfectly
Okay.
fine for government employees. The only thing, as I said,
Yeah.
like, we need to work through the login, and so maybe if there is I don't know if USGS is part of the InCommon network in any ways, or are there like government credentials which might be part of the InCommon network? So
I searched that list, and there's a ton of institutions. I saw some government institutions, geological surveys from other countries, but not ours.
okay,
So it seems like that would be a good step. I don't know how realistic that is, but
yeah,
but yeah,
usually
finding a
that's
way for government employees to get access, I think there would probably be a lot of interest. It's a really interesting idea. And another question is there, I mean, what's the ceiling for storage and processing usage?
in terms of, like, what's the magnitude you're talking about?
Well, I mean, I could give what may be an extreme use case. So, we're actually working with Natapon to do transfer learning of a deep learning UNet workflow for all of Alaska.
Right.
And it's a huge data set. And, you know, and it's just even if we're just like we're not storing all of the input data, just the processing storage needed can be quite a bit. Now that's an extreme case, right? But, you know, 50 terabytes is not unusual for running some of our workflows.
Right. So those kinds of things I would say is probably suited for our high-end computing environment. So it's not going to be on the website that you can just put it there. So we could still have link to the USGS things, and then we could host potentially something within the, I guess Carol is leading the annual supercomputing platform, and they regularly host, I guess, public data sets for community use. So this could be, if it's something like and this is a public data set, I presume. So we can definitely host it there. And then like, if there are computation, like a community of people might want to run on that data set, we could do that. We could set up something where people can provide inputs. Maybe there is a model that is pre-configured or something, and they could run that, or run a Jupyter notebook with that data set, something like that. We could definitely do that.
Yeah. So I'm really glad to hear that. So one of the goals we do these VCOs is to discover, you know, new things that people may need some help or resources. Yeah, so I agree with Anand that, you know, the large scale workflows, it would be best done on these HPC systems that Purdue represents one of them. We operate Envo, which is a large system in the NSF Access ecosystem. There are other resources there. So those are systems that are really for like hosting data sets, large public data sets, and then depending on your training needs, some of the systems can do it. And then for inference, there are various systems that are good for setting that up as a service. So you can reach out to other people by just hosting that service on these systems. So, and then, you know, this is a field that's developing very fast. I think iGuide definitely will look into how to link these things together. So making discovery a little easier.
Yeah, very interesting. It seems like a perfect place to make our data discoverable to more people. You know, a lot of people know about the 3D elevation program. So I'm with the National Geospatial Technical Operations Center. We're the operational arm of the national map. So we build, host, and distribute all the map data. So the elevation data, hydrography data sets, the finished map products. We are in the National Geospatial Directorate with ARROS, since of course they've got Landsat and land cover data sets. So all of that goes into our map data. But there's still people that probably don't know what's out there. And this may, you know, we've talked about, you know, how do we make it more accessible? Because we have, you know, so much LiDAR data, raw LiDAR data, not raw, it's processed, but point cloud data that's really valuable. It can be used by a lot of people, but people don't know how to download and pull, you know, get derivatives from, you know, intensity derivatives from, from a point cloud data set. We've talked about, you know, do we build Jupyter notebooks and host those on our website? But this, like, you guys are already doing it. So this could be a discovery platform for USGS data. And, you know, I'm just brainstorming. I don't make policy decisions for the national map, but I think there would be a lot of interest from the management in our office about this.
Well, yeah, we could definitely, we don't need to make policy decision. We could do like prototyping and proof of concepts and show that this works, and then let the
That's a good
policymakers
idea.
make their decision. So I
Yeah,
think, Ethan, yeah. Ethan, what you said is really interesting. We would definitely love to do this with you. So
Yeah.
we have Rajesh, who is one of our technical leads here. So we should connect probably realistically in the new year to get
Yeah.
this started, and like say what kind of, like maybe you have a notebook and there is a specific use case, we can make that data discoverable, and that notebook
Mhm.
runnable, actionable. So let's do that. So if you could follow up with an email to Carol, myself, and maybe Rajesh, and we can put this in the chat, our emails, if you don't already have it.
I'm looking at the invite. Hopefully there's some
Yeah, so we have
contact.
Carol and myself and Rajesh's email in the chat. So you can reach out, you can send us an email and say kind of maybe a little bit description of what maybe particular data set you might be looking at. We can target one
Yeah.
or two things, and we can do a proof of concept, say, hey, this is what it is, like this is how it is discoverable, these are the notebooks associated with it, these are the publications, or this doesn't need to be a like a publication in the traditional sense. It could be like data publication, like you
Right.
have something some associated describing the data, and that we could link to it so people can find more information, more metadata about it, and how to use it and all those things.
Yeah.
And we can try to make this into a discovery platform. And we can also try to figure out how to do things for the federal government side. Like if ORCID is kind of the go-to mechanism, maybe
Right.
we can figure it out. For people coming
Yeah.
from a
Yeah.
certain
That's right.
email ID or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That would be great. So I will think about a good use case that kind of shows off a few different data sets. And I can't see the chat right now, and it looks like I still do not have internet.
Oh, okay.
But I can find your contacts. I'm sure. I get the iGuide emails. I'm on the mailing list, so I can figure out how to reach out to you.
Okay. Yeah. If you
But
even if you reach
my
out to me,
email is
go ahead.
my email is EJ Shavers, my last name SHAVERS @usgs.gov.
SHAVERS.
Right. No, it's E, not J. It's E. That's my personal email. Sorry.
Okay, just E.
E Shavers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll send you a message with. Okay, and Rajesh found.
Great.
Okay, I'll send you a message with all our emails.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry I had the internet interruptions here, but this is great. I'm really glad I joined the call.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for joining
Great.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we look forward to working with you on that.
And this is kind of the
Okay.
perfect use of this call, right? So we find like a targeted people to work with and to expand and be mutually beneficial. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, that's great. Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Thanks.